I would say that a lot of these organizations that are chanting for free Palestine, or let's say pro-Palestinians organizations, I would understand what they're standing for if they did. Most of them don't know what they're talking about. A lot of them, especially in other countries that are far away from this region, when you interview them or when you hear them speaking about the issue, they can only chant, slogans of free Palestine and all these things. But when you actually go into the essence of the things and ask them some details, they don't know. Or they don't have enough knowledge to understand what exactly is this that they're asking. I think that the most common way to tackle it, let's say, is to ask very hypothetically, free Palestine from what? To free Gaza from what? Not from Israel, because we were not there. I say to free Gaza from Hamas, because Hamas has been controlling the people.
Do you know about the occupied area? Meaning, do you experience occupied area?
No, I mean, we have no contact there. We are not visiting there. I know nothing about there. I've never been. I don't know how it looks. For us, the Republic of Cyprus is here. We are in Cyprus. We are not traveling there. We don't have contacts there. And
I think maybe you're the only embassy that they respect that. Φίλες και φίλοι θεατές, καλώς ορίσατε σε ένα ακόμα podcast Therapy, όπου σήμερα έχουμε μαζί μας την κυρία Rotem Segev, την Deputy Ambassador of Israel. Φυσικά από αυτόν το σημείο και μετά θα πρέπει να μιλούμε στα αγγλικά. Actually, what I say in my introduction is that we hosted your Deputy Ambassador of Israel. Hi,
thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me.
It's been a while. And basically, the last time that we have the pleasure to host you here, it was at the beginning of this horrific war, how it was escalated. And it was really in a situation like what's coming next. And now we host you, and after this Trump's plan, which really give a lot of hope to many people around the area. And I'd like to start with this. I'd like to ask you first, like the Deputy Ambassador, so this is official, and then if you can, to tell me also your personal opinion about the matter.
So thank you very much. As you said, first time I was here was right after the war. We were in a very difficult situation back then after the horrific attack of October 7 by Hamas on Israel. Many people suffered and are still suffering due to this horrific attack. Families are still mourning for their loved ones. Wounded people are still in recovery. And the hostages, even though we have this agreement and ceasefire agreement and the Trump plan, not all of them are back home. So Israel was always willing to negotiate and willing to have an agreement and a ceasefire in order to get the hostages back. That was one of the main goals of our war with Hamas. At the beginning, of course, the goals of the war were also to dismantle Hamas, to make sure that they're no longer controlling the Gaza Strip, and also to return the hostages. And after 2 years of war with this terror organization, we made sure that they lost a lot of their infrastructure, a lot of their power, a lot of their ammunition, and there was more room for negotiation to see how we can move forward from that. Also, we really wanted to see the hostages back home. After all of us, we saw the horrific images of these skin and bones hostages buried in the tunnels. So there was a lot of pressure to get them back. The Americans got involved. This Trump ceasefire plan was welcomed by Israel. It took a while to get Hamas agreement to this deal. Eventually they did, but they're still violating the agreement. So according to the agreement, they were supposed to hand over all the living and dead hostages on the first day that they were supposed to be delivered. They only brought back the living hostages, 20 of them, which were in very bad condition. I will tell you a little bit more about it after. And the deceased hostages, they're bringing them back slowly. Currently, there are still 13 hostages, deceased hostages, who are still being held by Hamas in Gaza. I really wish for the day that we can have them all back and we can take this spin off to know that all Israeli citizens are back in their place, and also the foreign ones, because we also had a few foreigners that they took, including a Nepali citizen and others. Apart from this, the violations are not only with the hostages, they're also attacking our soldiers. So basically, according to the agreement, the IDF was supposed to withdraw from the populated cities and areas to what was called the yellow line. It's a line that was drafted on the map that is close to the border with Israel. And the IDF, according to the agreement, withdrew to that line. Just a few days ago, a couple times, Hamas was attacking our soldiers around this yellow line, killed 2 of them, wounded a few others. They were attacking them, shooting at them. It was not according to the agreement, and it's another violation from their side. And it's a problematic situation where we would really like to implement this agreement, have the humanitarian aid entered as we said it would, doubling the amount, really allowing all the humanitarian aid possible to get in, while they are not holding their part of the deal. So this is currently what we are dealing with. In relations to Cyprus and how this whole situation is dealt with here. So as you know, the humanitarian corridor, which is a project that have started right after the beginning of the war, the Amalthea plan, to have humanitarian aid entered Gaza directly from Cyprus to Gaza with the assistance of Israel and collaboration. So that happened throughout the last 2 years, and currently in the last couple of weeks there were 2 shipments being delivered and a few more are coming up. We would like to continue with this. We find it extremely important and beneficial to have another channel of entry coming into Gaza, and with collaboration with Cyprus, it's really important for us as well as partners in the region, and it's for the best of all sides, we believe. So yeah.
You know, I was listening to you how you was explaining, and I noticed that there is a mixture of relief, but at the same time of sadness, and at the same time a hope. Did I read it correctly?
Yes. I mean, relief because finally we have the hostages back home. We have a ceasefire. We understand that.
Not all.
But not only for us. I mean, look at what pictures and images are coming out of Gaza. Hamas is killing people on the streets. They're shooting it for the whole world to see. They're lining them up in lines and shooting them all in the back, beating them up. These are horrible pictures. We see that, and we understand even more that what we thought from the beginning is even more relevant today, that Hamas has to be dismantled. Hamas cannot have any role in the day after in Gaza, not just for Israel's sake, but for the Palestinian people's sake. Being controlled by a terrorist organization that terrorizes them, that takes a lot of the aid, loot a lot of the aid, take a lot of the budget and the money that is being poured on them for years, building all these terror army and terror infrastructures in order for the people in Gaza to have a better future, as well as for the Israelis to have a better future. Hamas cannot be part of this plan.
Yeah, but the point is, or the problem is, or how you want to call it, is that Hamas is still there and will be there, because basically this let's say transplant was including Hamas. So, and the problem actually for you, the problem is not go away, it's still there. So how are you going to deal with this? Because I understand, no, the way I see it, yeah, Israel shows a willing to cope with the plan, and let's find a solution. The other party, to be honest, I don't feel that they think in the same way. It's not only about the killings, it's not only about the looting of some aid, it's not, what I'm reading, I don't know if maybe my information is not correct, that's why I wanted to check it with you. And they continue to have 20,000 armed men there. They took, or they loot, they, whatever verb you want to use, a number of weapons, and how it's going to be. All this shows that basically you have the willingness, but maybe your partner in this plan, they don't show willingness then.
So look, I'm not sure about the numbers that you mentioned. Yeah. I don't hold this kind of data, but Hamas has been weakened in the last 2 years significantly.
Okay.
And we are trying to make sure that they cannot rearm themselves in the way that they did in the past. We are making sure that everything that goes into Gaza will be scanned, will be watched in order to prevent smuggling of certain ammunitions, and in order to make sure that it's only aid that is coming in. The borders are a bit more controlled. It's a tough situation because they don't want to lay down their arms at this point, even though they, according to the agreement, it was looking like it's going towards that direction. It's not going to be so easy, but we do believe that with some international involvement, there might be a solution for some temporary interim leadership that will not include the Hamas. It will not come by their own will, only when the understanding is from, I believe, from their side is that this is a dead end.
You know, there is something that I'm trying to figure out, so I'm just going to ask you, maybe you're going to enlighten me. The countries that are supposed to supervise the implementation of the Trump's plan includes also Turkey. Yeah. And at the same time, I'm not going to bring into the, in a way like, you know, because I'm Greek Cypriot, so I like to hear from you something, we condemn. No. I want to see it from your side. At the same time, and President Erdogan and some other politicians, from time to time, maybe for their own audience, but still they make the statements which are completely against Israel. And at the same time, Turkey is in Syria, or whatever is going to be the new Syria, and you have a conflict with Turkey in Syria, or not, maybe not directly like states, but for the people that they supported from Turkey. So basically, how you expect, okay, let's remove the name Turkey, let's say, how you expect from a country that you are openly opponent and competitors in the region, how you expect that is going to be to supervise the transplant?
Look, the situation as you described it with Turkey and Israel it's known. I mean, they were very vocal about their opinions throughout the last 2 years, and we were also very vocal about our stance towards that. I believe, though, that when you have a regional agreement like the Trump plan, let's call it the ceasefire agreement, there are a lot of partners involved. It's not only Turkey, it's also Egypt and Qatar and other countries, because you need to have more partners in order to make it happen and in order to have leverage on the parties. So this was something that was suggested by President Trump, We understand exactly where Turkey stands and where we stand. To make your life easier, I could say clearly that anything that has to do with Israel and Turkey will never come on the expense of the relationship with Israel and Cyprus. Strategic partners, very good relations. It will never be on the expense of this. We cannot ignore the fact that Turkey is a very strong country in the region. We would not want to make her our enemy as much as we can. We know where they stand as well, so we understand our position. But in this, let's say, setup of agreement, there are some strings that being pulled by so many partners, and if we would like to see a day after, to see some developments, we have to play according to these rules of this specific situation. We're trying to do it in the best way possible. It's not always easy. Also, for example, some would say, okay, why in Gaza, for example, the Palestinian Authority cannot play a role in being involved in the day after. So from our point of view, the Palestinian Authority has not followed the criteria or the demands that they should have for years. For example, they are not working enough in order to prevent terrorism. They are still following the agenda of pay for slay. So, for example, if someone is committing a terror attack, his family is getting paid for every month, like a salary. So we, some of the criteria for the Palestinian Authority to be more competent to deal with the day after was that de-radicalization of the population, not supporting terror, not supporting pay for slay, all these changes that they need to follow. That's also part of the ceasefire plan in order to be more involved. We understand that some partner has to take changes as well. That applies to other partners of this agreement as well. Time will tell how it will develop, but we have the will to continue to implement it to the security of our people, to make sure that our people are back home, and to make sure that the people and the citizens who live near the border will not suffer from any threat like they did before October 7th.
You mentioned before the yellow line.
Yes.
And at the same time, and this time, I remember our green line that is divided Lefkosia since many years ago. So basically this yellow line, it has the same, applies the same way, meaning it's going to separate the state of Israel from Gaza. It's going to be kind of buffer zone. It's going to be like, not border, like something that's going to separate you from the Gaza Strip.
So the difference is that between Israel and Gaza, there is a border, a real border, with fences and with everything that was broken on October 7th. They just broke it and infiltrated all the terrorists to Israel. The yellow line is a temporary solution to get the IDF out of the populated cities and areas, but still to have some sort of a grip of what's happening in the Gaza Strip, and to make sure that there are no attempts to infiltrate Israel once again, or to do any kind of terror attacks around that border. I'm not sure that it will be something permanent. It's too soon to tell. I don't believe that the similarities with the green line and buffer zone, I mean, these are not the terms that are being used there, because it's a whole different territory. It's not here like you had the occupied areas, and you don't really have a border. In Israel, it's different. We do have a border, and we have checking points, and we have these crossing points. It's slightly different, and it's understand.
I like a comment about this, the so-called Free Palestine movement, which basically the last year, it's like a plate. You could see, you could find it everywhere in the world. I was really surprised seeing their actions and their demonstrations in the biggest American universities, for example.
Yeah.
And I'd like a comment about this, call it movement, how you want to call it, this Free Palestine approach.
I would say that a lot of these organizations that are chanting for Free Palestine, or let's say pro-Palestinians organizations, I would understand what they're standing for if they did. Most of them don't know what they're talking about. A lot of them, especially in other countries that are far away from this region, when you interview them or when you hear them speaking about the issue, they can only chant, you know, slogans of Free Palestine and all these things. But when you actually go into the essence of the things and ask them some details, they don't know. Or they don't have enough knowledge to understand what exactly is this that they're asking. I think that the most common way to tackle it, let's say, is to ask very hypothetically, Free Palestine from what? Because before October 7th, there was no occupation on the Gaza Strip. Israel withdrew from Gaza years ago in 2005. There was not even one soldier, dead or alive, in Gaza, not even one citizen, one person. Even the cemeteries, they dig them out and they removed them and they gave the Gaza Strip to the Palestinian with warehouses, with factories, with everything else to start and to have their lives, you know, fulfilled and to have this flourishing area. We saw what happened so many years after and what it ended up to be. But to free Gaza from what? Not from Israel, because we were not there. I say to free Gaza from Hamas, because Hamas has been controlling the people. Hamas has been terrorizing them, taking a lot of the aid and a lot of the funding that was given to them throughout the years to build their own infrastructure and their own military abilities to build a terror army, whereas they could have taken all this money to build hospitals and schools and hotels and to make the lives of the people much better. If you take the UN data of how much money was given to each citizen or each person in Gaza versus to so many places in the world where they have challenges, or places that are being under the umbrella of being given financial aid for certain reasons, like Yemen or other countries, the budget per person in Gaza, I think it's like 20 times more than anywhere else in the world. Yet the people there are very poor and miserable, because all the money is not directed to them and for their welfare, it's for terror. And it wouldn't change unless the terror organization who has been running this for more than 15 years will be out of the equation. Otherwise, it will not give them any better future. So, Free Palestine from Hamas. That's the real slogan.
All right. I'm not going to push it more in this direction, because after all, Trump's plan, if it's going to be finally peace or if it's going to be any settlement or whatever, time is going to show, yeah? But talking about time, you've been 3+ years in Cyprus. And as far as I know, you're moving, or you go back to Israel for your new post, yes?
Yes.
So how it feels to be in a place, in the country, in Cyprus, for all the 3 years is a lot of time, yeah?
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
How you feel about it?
Look, the moment I set foot in Cyprus...
You smiled, huh?
Yes.
You started with a smile, which means you have good memories.
Yes.
That's good, that's good.
I can tell you, let's start with the bottom line. I will definitely come again.
Okay.
From the moment I set foot in Cyprus, I felt home away from home. I cannot even understand exactly why back then. Now I know why, because there is something very similar to the feeling that you have back home than that you have here. People are very warm, kind, welcoming. You feel that you know the place, even if you don't really know it, you find it easy to navigate. People are very helpful. It starts from the way that they wave you on the road, like you can go, you can go inside the lane if you're trying to take
sure that was in Cyprus?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I experienced this quite a while, because you're driving on the other side, and it took me a little while to adapt to this. People are not honking. They're very patient. And I find it really nice. Also with the language barrier, for example. I don't really speak Greek, even though I tried. I speak a few words here and there, obviously. But people are very open to help you, to speak with you in English. They explain, they understand, they're very welcoming. That's on a personal level, the experience on the street, even, at the shop, in schools, and with the people that you meet on a daily basis. On a more professional level, I can tell you that I feel that Israel and Cyprus really strengthened their relationship in the last years. I know that it was a trend that started before even I was coming here, but it developed throughout the years. For example, I was mentioning the Amalthea program, the fact that Israel allowed humanitarian aid to be scanned here and to be shipped directly to Gaza. It shows a lot about the relationship, about the trust between the sides, about the fact that there is transparency, there is a lot of goodwill. It's not with any country that we would do that. And the level of collaborations, the amount of visits that we had, President Christodoulidis went to Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu came here, the foreign ministers are going back and forth. We had so many ministers coming here throughout my years here. And I feel that on a professional level, from Israel's point of view, Cyprus is definitely on the map. Definitely a very strong partner, a very important one in the region and in general in the European Union. You are our closest country, like geographically, that we have such good relations with. So many tourists are coming here, not only for that reason, because of the proximity, but also for the culture. People love it here. People love it here. They love to travel here. I cannot even explain to you how many phone calls I get from my friends, when they're on summertime. Oh, I'm here with my family. Will you come to meet us? I'm in Paphos. I'm in Limassol. I'm in Larnaca. I'm in Ayia Napa. I'm in Potaras. I'm in all these connections. People find it very, very friendly and nice, and I find it as well. That's why I was smiling. I loved it here. I will definitely miss this place, and as I started, I said this is the bottom line. I will definitely come again to visit.
Okay, so it sounded like this, not from the movie I'll Be Back, It's like I'll be back.
I'll be back,
no,
definitely.
Okay. So you're going back to Israel, I guess, now,
Yes, going back to Israel, to the headquarters of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Yeah. And then we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, that's the life of an ambassador. Yeah,
of a diplomat. Yes.
A diplomat. Actually, there's a beautiful series in Netflix, The Diplomat. I don't know if you watch it.
Yes.
But it's amazing now. I hope that you don't make all these schemas in the.
I didn't watch it, to be honest, but I heard of it. It would not be the first TV series to be done on diplomatic lives. Yeah. It's sometimes it's a lot more, let's say.
Okay, exaggerated,
like from the real lives. In real life, how I see diplomacy is building bridges. Building bridges between the countries, between the people, between the business industry, between the academia, between the culture institutions, to just build bridges and to expand collaboration, to create opportunities for both sides. And I think that a good collaboration is measured by the fact that both sides are benefit from it. And I think that with Israel and Cyprus, it's definitely the case. Both sides are benefit from this, and this is why we have such a good relations, because both sides are getting what they need or what they want to achieve, and there is always room for more. That will be the job of my predecessor.
Okay, because you said that both sides what they need. Okay, let's say that Cyprus needs Israel to be its alliance. Israel can be an ally to Cyprus.
In what sense?
Of course, in military way.
What do you mean an ally?
An ally it is when somebody attack me, then you come to help me. Somebody is going to attack you, then I come to help you. Of course, I can't imagine what exactly I'm going to help you with, but we have airports, we have ports, we have the proximity, we have the depth of the field for the planes. So no, to make my question more easy, you think that at some point maybe Cyprus and Israel, they can formulate a military alliance beyond the support?
Yeah, look, that's a very good question. Way beyond my paid grade. I think it's
that's an answer for a diplomat in the serious.
No, look, really, I think it's something to be discussed on a higher political level.
Of course,
I'm not saying that it's completely excluded, but it has to be discussed on a political level. It has a lot of implications for both sides, and
who knows? Future, nobody knows the future.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like also your opinion about the Cyprus. I really try to avoid to say in all my shows about Cyprus problem. Cyprus problem, it sounds to me like such an old and cliche, and this Cyprus problem. Okay, let's say about the reality in Cyprus right now. I believe that you do know what's going on. What do you think we could expect? What do you think could be a solution, a viable solution for the island? Beyond this, about the United Nations and the decisions and etc. Let's think out of the box. What do you think could be the solution here?
Wow, that's a big one, because as we once talked about it, I think that even most Cypriots are not really sure what would be the best solution for them. I know that there are some options on the table being discussed, like bizonal, bicommunal federation, and other solutions. I think that in the end of the day, if there will be a solution that will put, let's say, a final status to the situation, whereas now it's all feeling a bit temporary. It's temporary, but it's 51 years at the same time. So now, since it's so temporary and so fragile, I feel that any solution that would be for the benefit of the Republic of Cyprus, that could be viable and long-lasting, not something that will be like putting a bandage for like the next 5 years, something that will be long-lasting and will keep the Republic of Cyprus' interests, could be a good solution. It could be anywhere between, having some sort of a federation under the Republic of Cyprus, or another solution like maintaining some sort of a status quo, but something that will be long-lasting. Because I feel that until it will be more permanent, this whole Cyprus question, Cyprus issue, whatever you frame it, it will always be a talking point and it will always be an issue. At a certain point, I wish for Cyprus to put it aside and to focus on other things and to have a solution that is viable, long-lasting, and to check it, on the list of tasks, that this one, we've dealt with it, we're done with it, now we're moving to other issues. And to get to this point, there will be, negotiations and some talks done, but I think it has to be high on the agenda. Otherwise, it will just be another talking point on the list, which is also possible to have. You've done that for quite a few years, but I mean, you would still have it.
Actually, I was smiling because it comes to my mind, maybe one day Trump is going to wake up and say, what's going on in Cyprus? 50 years you're talking, you're going to solve it now. And you're going to have a Trump plan, bam, 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 finish with the things. And that's it.
Maybe you will need the involvement of the international community. I know that the president is trying to involve the EU in that,
yes, of course.
And to make them be more involved, more engaged to this issue, to actually put more pressure.
Yeah.
I hope that it will bear the fruits needed. Yeah.
Do you have any contacts in the occupied area of Cyprus? I mean, do you have any? Do you have let's say contacts? Let's say, do you know about the occupied area? Meaning, do you experience occupied area?
No, I mean, we have no contacts there. We are not visiting there. I know nothing about there. I've never been. I don't know how it looks. For us, the Republic of Cyprus is here. We are in Cyprus. We are not traveling there. We don't have contacts there. And
I think maybe you're the only embassy that respects that. But
it's important for us.
It means a lot to us. It really means a lot. Yeah,
it's really important for us.
And I'd like to share with you something. I mean, we had a poll recently, and we have around 2,000 people that were answering. Okay, it was about upcoming elections, etc., etc., etc. But I had also one question there: how you feel about Cyprus and Israel? Actually, the question was exactly how you feel if Cyprus is going to develop the relations with Israel and the United States. 65% they say yes, 25% they say no, and around 10% they say I don't have an opinion. What this 65% tells you?
It tells me that people understand the importance of having good relations with Israel, which is a good sign. I understand that people, they see Israel as a valuable partner in the region for Cyprus, a country that they can benefit from having good relations with, collaborations and other elements of expanding their relationship in the region. And I think that it's a good sign. I can also tell you that from other polls that we've heard recently, the opinion of the people about what is happening in Israel and what happened in Gaza is not so negative as one might think. A lot of the people, they do support what Israel is doing eventually, because they do understand that terrorism cannot control, that it's not good for the long term to have a terrorist organization controlling a region that is around the corner, basically, also for you. So there is a support on that as well. But on this level that you mentioned with their relationship with Israel, I think that most people understand that even if they don't agree with what Israel is doing 100%, they still think that it's really important to have good relations with. For Cyprus, I think that Israel is an important partner. It's a very strong country in the region, not only military and intelligence-wise, but technology and others. Just, you know, go in the supermarket, you would find random products that are imported from Israel. There are a lot of trade collaborations that we are not even aware of. Even assistance in fires, for example. You know, we are nearby. Just a couple of months ago, you had these huge fires in the Limassol, Rhodes area. We came here with the airplanes that helped a lot.
Significant help.
Sorry?
Many people, they say that if those two planes they didn't arrive and they didn't throw this material they throw, that the fire would go to through those mountains. And then
exactly. And imagine that in Israel it was the same risk of having fire. So because they couldn't send the regular fire fighting airplanes, they decided to help anyway. So they lowered the risk assessment in Israel, and they decided to send in Israeli Air Force airplanes that are not built for this assignment, but they equipped them anyway in order to help. Because for us, helping a country that is a friend in need is more important than anything, and time was of essence, and it was very, very time sensitive. I was dealing with this. I was on the phone with everyone involved, and the decision was made to do it immediately. They did it as fast as they could, and they arrived and they helped. So having Israel in good relations with Israel is for the benefit for both Cyprus and Israel. And I think that a lot of the people here, they do understand that.
Miss Ambassador, dear Rotem.
Deputy Ambassador,
You're still Ambassador. Yeah.
I would take it.
Okay. It was a real pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you very much for this I think it's our last interview as a deputy ambassador, how you said. I wish you all the best in your future professional life, and I'm sure that we're going to meet again.
Thank you very much, dear Harry. It was a pleasure being here, and I'm hoping this beautiful channel of yours will continue, will flourish, and you will have interesting guests coming up now with the elections that are coming. It was my pleasure to be here, and thank you once again for the interview.
I'm smiling because you said the election. I was ready to ask you what's your what do you expect to be the results for the election, but nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody
we
knows.
are only relying on the polls that everyone can see in the media.
Yeah.
It's very hard to say. It's too soon also to say. We still have 6 months to go.
Nobody knows. Believe me, it's more complicated than the Cyprus problem. Thank you again to be with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ευχαριστώ για σας φίλες και teletheaters που είχατε την διάθεση και τον χρόνο να μας αφιερώσετε. Μέχρι την επόμενη φορά να είστε όλοι καλά. Γεια σας.